Hello everybody, welcome to another Flaming Dice Reviews video. Today we're going to be taking a look at a small little game by Fantasy Flight Games called Age of War. Age of War is primarily a dice game. All that comes in the box is a handful of cards and 7 dice, and with that you get a surprisingly big gaming experience out of it. Let's take a look at what comes inside of the box, and then a little bit about how the game plays, and then we'll meet back here for my final thoughts. All that comes inside of the Age of War box is 14 castle cards and 7 custom dice. Now that doesn't sound like a whole lot, but for having so few components and coming in such a small package, Age of War packs a surprising amount of strategy. Let's take a look at how the game plays. All 14 of the game's castle cards are laid out in the center of the table. Now this game supports from 2 to 6 players. So all of the players take turns trying to conquer the castle, or trying to conquer a castle. Now that is done, or accomplished, by rolling the dice and matching the symbols that are rolled to try and conquer the castles. Once every castle card is gone from the center of the table, the game ends. The player with the most points, represented by these numbers in the bottom left, the player with the most points wins. If there's a tie, the player who has conquered the most castles wins. On a player's turn, they get to decide which castle they want to attack. Now the great thing about the game is that you get to roll the dice before you decide which castle to attack. So in my example, I'm going to roll the die, and I get some swords, 2 daimyo heads, and a bow and arrow. Now if you look at the symbols that are on these cards, these are called battle lines, and they're arranged horizontally. Every roll of the die, or of the dice, you get to take a look at those battle lines and decide which castle you want to attempt to conquer. So if I wanted to attempt to conquer this castle, I could dedicate 6 swords and fulfill this battle line, but that's using a lot of dice, so I might not want to do that. I might instead want to just use 1 die and fill that battle line. 1 daimyo head for another. So once I've dedicated myself, or once I have chosen this castle, I'm locked in. I can't do anything else. I can't choose another castle to attack. I can't reroute, anything like that. So I will then take my remaining dice and roll them and see if I match any of the other battle lines. In this case, I either need 6 swords or a bow and a horse, cavalry. I can fulfill either one of these, but I can only fulfill 1. So in this case it's 2 dice either way. The horse and the bow and arrow are a little bit more rare, so I'm going to fulfill this battle line. Now again, I get to re-roll to see if I can beat this castle or conquer this castle. Now at the bottom it costs, as you'll see with this battle line, it costs 6 swords to conquer this castle. I only rolled 5. I did not fulfill the final battle line. So in this case, I lose a dice, and I get to re-roll again. And once again, I came up short. I get to lose a dice, roll again, came up short, and at this point, since the maximum number of swords that is on a dice is 3, I'm only down to 1 dice. I can no longer conquer this castle, and my turn is over. For scoring purposes, the castles are divided into sets that give bonuses. In this case, there are 3 castles in this set. They all have this symbol either on the back of the card or in the bottom right of the castle card. This one's a set of 1, 2, 2, 2, and there's 1 set of 4. And for example, if we take a look at the set of 4, let's zoom in a little bit, we can see that if you add all of these up, it's going to get you 7 points. So 3 for this one, 2, 1 and 1. However, if you get this entire set, these castles become inconquerable, and you get the set bonus. Instead of it being worth 7, you get 10 points. And because there is that PvP aspect in the game, and set collecting is one of the biggest parts of scoring. So if I have one of the pink castles and someone else has another, this is going to be a hot commodity. People want to get that set bonus because in this case, instead of them being worth 7 individually, they're worth 8 as a set. So not only can you attack from the middle of the table where all the castles are, you can also conquer other people's castles that they have conquered, unless they complete a set. Once they complete a set, you flip them over, and that is their score, and they're safe and no longer conquerable. One final note about attacking castles that are under the control of another player, castles that have already been conquered from the center of the table. If you see this extra daimyo head up in the top left, that is an additional battle line that must be conquered in order to take control of a castle that someone else has already conquered. So I'm going to give you one last taste of battle and show you what it would be like to attack this castle. So I'm going to roll my dice. And in this case, I did get a cavalry, so I will fulfill this first battle line. Now I'm going to re-roll. And I need to get 2 of the daimyo heads at the same time to fill this battle roll, or just one to fill this one. In this case, I didn't get either. So I'm going to lose 1 die and try again. In this case, I did get the 1 daimyo head, so I'm going to put it on the battle line that I did conquer, and then roll again. Failed, lose a dice. Failed, lose a die. Oh, halfway there. But had this been another daimyo head, then I would have succeeded, and I would then take control of this castle from the player who had it previously. Welcome back, everybody. Now that we've seen what's inside the box and a little bit about how Age of War plays, let's talk about my final thoughts about Age of War. Despite the very small box and the limited contents, again, the game comes with 7 custom dice, 14 cards, and a rule sheet as per the back of the box. Despite only having a few components like that, it has surprisingly deep strategic value. There's a lot that can be strategized concerning the roll of the dice and which castle you try to conquer thereafter. Do you go for the ones in the middle to try to end the game? Do you try to steal something from an opponent before they can get a set? There's a lot of strategy. There really is. The dice are engaging. It's very exciting whenever you're down to 2 dice and you need, say, the horse and the bow, and you roll that. Oh, that's just a stand up and cheer moment. The component quality, of course, is Fantasy Flight, so the components are great. The cards look fantastic. One thing about the artwork that I actually didn't notice the first few times that I played it was that every single castle on all 14 cards are a different piece of artwork. And they're kind of out of focus in the back behind the battle lines listed on the card, so it's hard to see. But that's just the kind of detail that most people would expect from Fantasy Flight anyway. The game is super easy to learn. Both of my kids picked it up very easily. If there was any downside to the game, I would say that some people are probably going to be turned off because there is a high amount of luck. Even though you can mitigate that through strategic planning of the dice rolls and which castles you attack, there is a good amount of luck, and that may or may not appeal to you. I would say that some people are probably going to get bored with it pretty quickly. I don't know how much replayability it's going to have for everybody. As for us, my kids and I, and my wife, we have thoroughly enjoyed it and have shown no signs of slowing down playing it. So I really think that's just going to be a matter of opinion. I ran Age of War through the Flaming Dice Review scoring system, which scores a game based on 8 categories, including replayability, component quality, theme, portability and setup. And Age of War scored an 88 out of 100, which is a great score, especially for a game in such a small package. If you like this video, please be sure to subscribe, give us a like, and visit the website at www.flamingdicereviews.com. And I will see you again next time. Thanks for watching.